Imagine you send your child to a place where you expect them to be well taken care of, educated, and to perhaps even enjoy themselves. However, what if this place was a delusion and in fact life-threatening? The short film, If Anything Happens, I Love You, presents the American issue of gun violence towards schools. This short film was an emotional roller coaster as it opened my eyes to a new perspective on the victims of gun violence. In the next few minutes, I will provide a brief description and my personal evaluation on If Anything Happens, I Love You. Written and directed by Will McCormack and Michael Govier, If Anything Happens, I Love You is a short animated Netflix film with a runtime of 12 minutes. The characters of primary focus are two parents who are grieving over the loss of their child to a school shooting. With no dialogue and only drawings to go off of, a reverse life depiction of events is given, and a short life montage of the 10-year-old daughter is given. By the end of the film, the parents are brought together once again, consoling and comforting each other as they recall, in their daughter's room, their cherished family memories with her. With now a clearer image of this film, I would like to present my evaluation on it. There are several elements in this film that emphasize the pain and grief the parents are undergoing. These elements include the sketch-like minimalistic drawings, the lack of dialogue, and the lack of color. For example, with the use of large negative space, the audience is forced to solely focus on the parents and how distant they are from each other and how empty they feel without their daughter. This can be viewed in the opening scene where the parents are sitting across from each other, but there are no background drawings, just a blank white canvas. Here we can see that they are detached from each other and detached from their reality. Also, color only pops up in their daughter's possessions and objects that remind them of her and in the memories they have of her. We can see this stark contrast between the world that they had with her, which was colorful and bright, and the world without her, which is dull and gray. I also like the lack of dialogue because it can reach a variety of people that way. With no prominent language, except for that one English line of, "If anything happens, I love you," this film can be reached to people within the US who don't speak English and also internationally, and hopefully they can understand the message of the film. I also greatly appreciate the addition of the parents' shadows throughout the film. The shadows felt like representations of their inner selves, and in fact, they showed much more emotions than their actual selves. In this way, I felt more connected to these shadows because they added more depth into the sorrow that they were feeling. The most gripping scene for me was where gunshots are fired, but the only thing visible in the frame is the vibrant and bright American flag hanging over school doors. Some Americans have great pride in their American flag, and of course, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that in this scene, it feels uncomfortable and difficult to see that this flag is radiating so brightly in the midst of all this chaos. To me, it sends this message that we deem America to be so great, but it can't protect its most vulnerable people, the children. I also felt strongly connected to this film since in high school and in middle school, the thought of a school shooting was always in the back of my mind whenever we would talk about it amongst friends or our teachers would bring it up, and so I would fear for my well-being and for the well-being of my school friends. But this film showed me what my parents could go through if I were to get hurt or even killed in a place they would least expect, the school. In summary, I provided a brief description and my personal evaluation on If Anything Happens, I Love You. This media was heartbreaking yet eye-opening to the ongoing American issue of gun violence towards schools and the effects it has on its victims. So, I ask of you to consider your right to bear arms, because it has never just involved you.